Hi, it's Jerry again. Um, Figured I'd just list out all the various ET type experiences I had from 2007 and 2008 so far here, just in line in the video journal. So this is basically it. Um, the first one that really kind of caught my attention was I was sleeping, obviously, and I wake up out of my body. I'm walking out of my room. I turn back around, and I don't see my body at this point. I prefer not to at this particular point in my astral travel, shall I say. And but I knew I was sleeping then. Didn't see a body. I'm like, okay, I'm sleeping. And so I look down my hallway, which faces due west, and I'm seeing laser beams outside of the window, like in the sky. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? So basically, I know I'm dreaming, so I start to pull the house away, or kind of turn the opacity down on the house so I can see through it. And I'm seeing these craft fighting in the air, and I'm just like, whoa, man. So I start kind of walking towards it to see what these things are. I notice they're two colors. One of them is blue, one of them is orange. And so as I'm walking there, I notice they're emanating from this portal, a large portal, many feet high. That wasn't too far from my house. And I'm like, wow. And it was white and blue mostly, and it was like a slit. And so I'm walking, and I'm seeing these things fighting overhead. And so what I do is I kind of teleport my consciousness, or oscillate it back and forth from where I'm at to where I see the portal. So that way I can check over there. So if the thing's a big blazing ball of fucking fire, I don't want to jump into that. So but no, it looked cool. It seemed like they were just flying out. Whatever's going on was going on with them fighting. And so there was just people walking around there. So I went ahead and teleported over there. And I'm walking around. And it was interesting because it was one of the few times up to that point where it really felt like I was syncing up with a lot of people. And with that, all that consciousness together on that astral plane, it really kind of solidified everything. It was very, very, just grounded everything. It was really cool. And but I'm looking around, and some people are looking at this light. They have this huge thing like, duh, oh my god, that's so, oh wow. It's like not realizing there's a fucking fight going on. And some of them were like, people walking by going like, oh wow, what's going on there? And then there was people like me going, okay, you guys are seeing this, right? And then yeah. and actually what was odd is I see a man there, a Caucasian gentleman, kind of white hair, beard and this and that. I kind of found out later that it looked like it was Richard Hoagland or something, and he's just like, yeah, they're always doing that. And I'm like, okay, well, he seems okay with that. And I see this other guy looked about my age who was walking around going, oh, wow. So I sync up with him. And I was saying like, hey man, you're seeing this, right? And he's just like, yeah, this is all going on telepathically. And he's like, asked me like, what would we do if they attack right now? And I'm like, well, I kind of realized like, he only half realized he was dreaming. And I'm like, well, if they attack right now, dude, I can jump up there and pull both of those guys down with my hands. And he's just like, and you kind of realize, like, oh yeah, I'm dreaming. And he's like, oh, I'm really quick. It's hard to catch me. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And well, I really don't think they're gonna come after us right now. And so he's like, all right. And I was like, okay. And we kind of left. And so I'm watching this. I'm taking note of things. Like I noticed on the blue craft, like specifically, it was kind of like the Air Force, United States emblem, you know, with the little circle, star, and then the flag. And then the orange things, or orange craft, they look pretty similar though, but there's different colors. It was like a triangle and like some circles, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. It was like triangles and circles, just like that. So yeah. But yeah, so after that, like I woke up, and shortly after that, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty interesting. I didn't really expect to see anything, and yeah, there was quite as far as I can tell making that. But what I found was extra intriguing about this story, too, is why I even mention it, is because my neighbor actually happened to report seeing a big, like, bluish white blaze in the sky in that direction I think about a year prior or something like that. That actually, I guess, was mentioned in the local newspaper. But we're trying to track down the paper, but it's kind of old, so it's not really that easy to track down some of these things. So that one really kind of got my wheels turning a little bit as far as what's going on, possibly in the whole, Black Project, extraterrestrial kind of thing. But then from there, it just kind of kept getting way frustrated. So that's the first one, and I'm gonna cover it. Next experience. This one took place in the middle of kind of my indexing the phase, if you will. I was reviewing a portion of Sleep, because I remember seeing my day from before, kind of replaying it. And basically at one point that started to fade, and it turned into what I call, or what's known by a lot of people as the void. Kind of just complete black, empty void. But when I was going into that void, I started hearing music, orchestral music, like from a movie score. And I'm like, wow, what's this? This is interesting. I'm not even trying to do this. What's going on? And I was completely lucid. Actually, I was a little surprised when I woke up in the indexing phase, because it was going by so fast. And it was obvious I wasn't there to replay anything, re-examine anything from my day. It was kind of like zipping by, and so I'm like, okay, well, this is different. And in this void, like, my consciousness is starting to pull out the picture, starting to come out in this haze into a scene that's already taken place. And in the scene, it seems like whatever consciousness or body, whatever it is running, and it's going straight ahead. And as it starts coming more into focus, the music gets louder. It seemed to be for ambient time. I was there, and I'm seeing little extraterrestrials. They're kind of tannish with pretty decent sized eyes. And it's kind of like the head that Bob Dean pulled up in Project Camelot's interview with him. It's actually pretty much seems like the same thing I saw there about this tale. Because I was in that scene, and apparently I was part of some kind of military thing or something, because I was in some kind of outfit with like a gun in one hand, and I was seeing other people, other humans, and it was like we got the drop on them or something. They snuck in their ship, which was miles long. I could see like just miles this way, and other people was doing the same thing, and this fight raging through this miles long ship. And I'm running through this thing. I'm not really using the gun, but it's kind of interesting. I was using psychokinetic power. It was like this is all scripted for me, and I'm watching it as much as I'm doing it. So I'm full lucid. It feels like I am now, but it's like I know I'm not making this up. I'm kind of just going along with it. And so pushing these guys over, just yelling at them and shit, like when they're coming by me, and it's just like, poor guys, I understand why they're afraid of us. And we're going into the bridge, and so I'm there, and I kick open the door, and I jump over this table, and I kind of telepathically zone in on whoever the captain of this was, or whatever. I come up on him, and that's when I pulled out the gun. I had it like this, and it was basically gonna pull the trigger. That's gave me a better reason not to, and he did. He held up his hand, and like kind of as much to say, "Oh, please don't," as to, "Oh, here's what we're trying to do," And so I'm like, "Yeah, what do you got?" Because I'm not into this scene. Like, I really don't want to just knock over and shoot ETs if they don't give me a good reason. So, what's it called? He showed me stuff. It showed me, like, in answering my questions, like, what the fuck would I be doing in the military? Because I'm not a military guy. Discipline's one of my hard spots. But what am I doing here? And it was interesting because it was like a scene of me opening the door to some very professional-looking people, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. And I'm like, but even still, there's no way. How would you could entice me into boot camp? And it's kind of like, no, you're not going to boot camp. It showed